we left the Flinders Ranges on the 3rd of August and we drove to Tanunda, which is in the Barossa Valley. It got a bit messy when the roads got all close together on the map. So we stayed there for 2 nights and then we headed to Victoria, but we went to a little town called Harndorf on the way. We didn't stay there, but we continued on and stayed in a very cute little town called Keith for the night. Crossed over the Victoria border and then we went and stayed at, we were going to stay somewhere else, but we decided spur of the moment when we passed a sign for the Grampians that we'd stay at Halls Gap, so we stayed there for the night on the 6th of August. Packing up for the day, heading to the Barossa Valley today. It was so windy last night, the camper trailer was shaking, but it's all good. No damage, no trees down. Well, there's a tree down across the road, but we're all good here. So it's a 3 or 4 hour drive, I think, today. Then we've got 2 nights in the Barossa, and then all our drives will be pretty short because we've got about a week to get to Canberra after that. It's a good little campground. Rawnsley Park Station it's called. We had a powered site, which was definitely worth it for the heater. Ryan's decided to use one of his G'day Parks. What is it? Like a mate's friends benefit thing?
No, you're
How's that?
These. You ready?
Off you go.
Oh god, now I've made it too long, I think.
You can't reach. Maybe you should move your chair.
Probably. It's like the space where the thing is exactly where I want it to go. Oh no, I'm going to hit again.
Oh, he's so happy. Both of them. So happy. Today's the 4th of August. We're exploring the Barossa, and this is the Whispering Wall at the Barossa Reservoir, which is giving me vertigo a little bit, having like the water really up at a normal level there and then just that giant drop off on the other side of me. It's quite windy. I don't know how good the microphone's gonna be today. Oh my god, I thought Ryan just had Hugo sitting on the railing. He didn't, but I had a mini heart attack.
Why wouldn't you stay there?
Ah. Well, I wanted to walk across as well. I have to walk back now so that we can talk to each other along the wall. I don't know if this is going to work because of the wind today.
You suck.
It does work. Ryan just told me you suck.
I can hear you, but I can't hear what you're saying.
Is that any better?
Oh, Hugo hears you.
There you go.
Come.
Hey Hugo.
Say it again.
Hugo.
Is this my mummy?
Is he looking for me?
Yeah. He's so confused.
They are all the way over there.
Mummy, I'm there. But you can hear her.
I have to admit I'm pretty impressed with that. Some things that we've done that have been recommended have been real big flops, but that was actually pretty good. Now I just have to wait for Ryan to go to walk back. Look at that smile. Hi. Oh. He likes to back himself up into me for a cuddle. Don't you? Yeah, that's you. Had a wine tasting at Jacobs Creek and now we're at Turkey Flats. Flat or flats?
What?
Flat, maybe. Hugo's buggered.
After eating a whole thing of cheese.
A whole wheel of cheese?
No, look at his little hand around you.
He was snoring.
So cute. He does not sleep like this often, we'll say. It's lovely. There's a little fireplace. So nice. It's so windy. So it's a good day to be inside. It's been raining for a little while. So we've been keeping warm and dry in the camper trailer. Sorted out our washing. We got back literally like 10 minutes before it started raining. Got that off the line. So that worked well. And now we're heading back into Tanunda to have a look at some of the cellar doors that are just in the main street. And I just really love these trees. Very Canberra. They remind me of Canberra anyway, with the little white flowers. Because I think we had something similar just out the front of our house when we lived there. Oh, you're a cutie. Oh, is that a puddle? Come on, Hugo. We're in Harndorf today. It's the 5th of August. We just wanted to stop in and have a look. It's a little German town in South Australia. So we've already bought a Christmas tree topper, a carved one, which is just beautiful, and some salami. And we're just going to have a look up and down the street, see what else there is before we head off. Haven't decided where we're staying tonight yet. Let's see where the day takes us. We waited out the rain by having a liqueur tasting in the little store. And Ryan bought some liqueur. It was really good. And now we're just continuing our walk along the street, waiting until we're hungry enough to stop for lunch, which is probably going to be soon.
Here. Put it down. Put it down.
Hugo had to have his own little taster while we were having liqueur, so we kept his cup.
Wait.
Hugo. Yeah, we decided to keep the cup.
Not a lot's going in now.
And what are we having? A beef beer for me and a tasting plate for Ryan. And pretzel and sausages for lunch.
We're not even hungry.
Maybe followed by an apple strudel. We'll see how we go. We're heading out of Harndorf now. Such a good stop. We're really glad we stopped in, aren't we?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it was really nice. Highly recommend. I don't even know the name of the shop, but it's like handmade candles and craft or something. The signs are purple. That's where we got our tree topper, and it's a really good little store. And there's the cuckoo clock shop, and where we got the liqueur. Yeah, lunch was good. It's just really nice. There's all the old buildings. I just find it a bit awkward to video along the street when there's people in it, which there aren't really right now because the sun's back out. So everybody came out and they're all in shops now. But yeah, it was really good. This is the little town of Keith in South Australia. We're heading towards the Victoria border, which we'll probably cross tomorrow.
Yep.
On the way to Ballarat, where we've decided to throw in a night or two. Just
no
because.
particular reason.
No particular reason, yes. Just had to stop recording because someone was bivouacking in the pub at 4:30 on a Friday afternoon. It's not very busy. Hugo's just all rugged up here. Where are you? Oh, you found a grate.
There's kegs down there. Come on. Oh, there's the pub.
And I think that's the town of Keith.
I think there might be a playground or something.
Sure.
Out on that bit, I don't know.
I was just walking down the street. We've just been into the butcher, and I completely missed there's a kidnap. Ryan pointed it out to me.
Yeah, that's in the kidnap.
We've seen echidnas in the wild before, but not on the main street of town. They're so cute. Oh, I think he's friendly. I think Hugo's gonna poop his pants. You can touch them, babe. They're not spiky.
Yeah, I don't really want you to touch them, but...
It's alright.
He won't hurt you. He just came up and nuzzled my foot.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so there he goes. He's going to go find a home. Yeah.
Hugo got fed up with his scarf, so now I'm wearing it. And we're having a look at a tank. So this is one of 58 tanks that went to Vietnam. Ryan's also looking for another geocache. It's a lovely afternoon now that it's not raining. The sun's out. This is going to be really loud. Hugo looked so impressed. Hang on, I'll push you back.
Oh, he's pushing.
Oh, is he? We left Keith this morning after having some pies for breakfast at the bakery. We just crossed over the border into Victoria, so half an hour time zone change again. And Hugo was just getting a bit antsy in the car, so we pulled over at the first park we saw, which has heaps of animals in this little paddock over there. A big playground. So they've got emus and deer and I think some black cockatoos and an aviary. Oh, there's even what looks like an albino kangaroo. So we're going to have a little stop here before we keep going. But it was just by chance that we happened to stop at this really cool little park. Where is it? Geneva Wetlands? I think that sign says. Yeah. Canova? I don't know. I give up. I did see a video on Instagram this morning about that place in Broome that I couldn't pronounce. And Ryan's guess was correct. It actually is Gunthium Point. So there you go. There's a deer and an emu over there. And it was an albino kangaroo. Just behind that tree there. Hugo's having fun playing with the little sheep statues. But he really does love birds, so he'll like this bit. Hugo, do you see the birds? In there?
There's black cockatoos up there.
Yeah, I saw them when we drove in.
Do you like the donation thing?
Yeah. So we were on our way to Ballarat, where we intended to stay tonight, but we saw a sign for the Grampians and decided to pull off and come and stay here for the night instead. We'll go to Ballarat tomorrow. So we're just heading up now to get to the caravan park. But that's the beauty of not booking and the beauty of being in part of the country where you don't have to book in winter. It's a lot less busy than the northern half. And we're going to have a look at some lookouts and do a little walk this afternoon. Don't look very busy. So we came into the information centre to get some information about some walks we want to do, and we got waylaid. Hugo's got his trusty sultanas. Ryan's having a tasting, and I've got.
I can't remember.
It was called My Idaho. I can't remember.
An IPA, I think.
An IPA. And we might get to the walks this afternoon. Driven up the hill after our little beer stop. Have a look at a couple of the shorter walks. This one's the Grand Canyon walk. Part of it's closed, so we'll be doing only a little section. Gumboots were a good choice for Hugo. Of course, straight in the puddle. Got himself stuck. The rock formations are really nice around here. Not really like anything we've seen before. Yeah, it's just really cool looking around this area. Lucky it's not far. Just some more cool rocks. Fix the gimbal now. Hugo's wanting to do a little bit by himself. Ryan doesn't want to wait. They'll be big steps. We made it fairly far, a couple 100 metres. The water's really frothy where it's coming out down the waterfall. Made it as far as the closed section, which is probably where the walk gets interesting. It's only been closed since 2020. Yeah, it is. Oh well. Now we're on our way back to the car park, and it's raining. What a surprise. It does look really nice with the rain though. Here we go. I'm just really enjoying this rain. It's so light you can barely feel it, but it just makes it look so pretty. On our way to Lakeview Lookout, we're just testing out some of Hugo's new tricks. Hugo, where's your head? That's right. Hugo, can you look at Mummy? That's your head, you goose. Hey.
Hugo.
Hey.
Hugo.
Are you funny? Oh, are you going to give the treat? Oh, darling. You're a cutie, aren't you? Coming up to the lookout, it's only 500-metre walk, so it hasn't taken too long, even while letting Hugo walk most of it. There we go. Hugo.
Don't kick your shoes off. Is that the pinnacle?
I feel like that is the pinnacle, yeah. Hugo, are you in a cave? Yeah. Is that you?
Stop recording.
Had to stop to take a photo because I'm being lazy and not using my SLR camera. Can't be bothered getting it out of my backpack. And the DJI does pretty good photos too. A lot of the start photos for our videos, the intro ones, have been DJI photos. Some of them have been with my camera, but probably about 50-50. Yeah, he's getting cranky because he's run out of puddles. But Ryan made a deal with him that he'd carry him and put him down for all the puddles, so he gets to walk through this one. Just some more wildflowers for you. Got pink ones scattered through. And then over here, there's some yellow. It's a bit behind, so I'm not going to climb into the bush to see it. Oh, and there's white ones. Heaps of flowers. There's lots of birds too. It's very nice.